Very good. Happy Thursday, everybody. February is almost done. Just kidding, halfway. Take it easy. It's all good. Glad to have opened the, or kind of mid-month, actually, this session today, our monthly mastermind with our superstar agents. And I'm going to spotlight our speakers as well, kind of in rotation, so you can see everybody. And I'm going to let you guys introduce yourself so we kind of know who the players are. I'm just going to find Esmeralda for a second. And Luisa, let's start with you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Luisa Ramos. I'm with Keller Williams Calabasas. That's it. What else do you want me to say?
Perfect introduction. Thank you, Luisa. Good to have you. And we're going to hear more from Luisa and like what she's up to on social media. And we have Cheyenne.
Hey, you guys. Thank you so much for having me today. I am Cheyenne Nugent. I am with KW South Bay. And yeah, I come from a photography background before this. So that actually plays a huge part in my social media, which we will definitely get to soon. So thanks for having me.
That's awesome. Good to have you. Cheyenne and Esmeralda. Good to see you.
Hi, I'm Esmeralda Gomez with Keller Williams Long Beach, and I've been licensed since 2006 and with KW Coastal, I think 3.5 years now. Yeah, that's me.
Time goes fast.
I know.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you for your time, all of you, and good to have you. What we want to do today is just kind of talk, brainstorm, get ideas, get some insight. And of course, feel free to ask one another, and whoever is watching us, if you have questions, preferably type them on the chat first, and then we can also open questions, etc. Depends what the topic is, right? But just I want to keep this kind of conversation going. So want to get your insight, your kind of idea behind how you're utilizing social media. It can be one platform, several platforms, whatever you guys using really to promote your business, promote your brand, or create some kind of consistency, right? So start with you, Cheyenne. You mentioned you have some kind of a background, right? You're fairly new in this industry, but definitely doing something that kind of I guess that's your purpose as well. Put you kind of separate you from others, right? So start with kind of your story, your journey, your background about that, and again, social media piece of it.
Sure. Yeah, you're spot on. Totally new in this industry, which is always fun being green and something new. So I actually was an actress dancer for a really long time, but I knew that was a career with an expiration date, right? Like my body can only do that for so long as far as the dancing side. So I had always had an interest in photography. So I actually was doing a tour for 4 years as a professional dancer. And when I got off the tour bus, I'm like, okay, I'm going to continue auditioning, but I need to make money, right? We all need to keep a roof over our heads. So that's how I then started. I did a paid internship out of Huntington Beach. Started as a wedding photographer and then decided to start my own business from there. So I started my own business and have been a business owner since 2008. So at least that part is going to be really, really helpful, that I am no stranger to rejection and no stranger to having to make phone calls and hustle for business on a daily basis, right? So that will serve me. That being said, obviously with photography as a background, aesthetics are very, very important to me personally for my brand. So I really love that like light and airy look with like pops of greenery and like nude peachy colors to be coastal. And so I just try and stay really consistent with that brand and that look on my social media, so that the minute anyone navigates there, there's no question that they're in their mind like what my brand is.
Yeah, and I love the fact also, and we're gonna hear from others as well, that you didn't shy away from using your background, right, as a step stool to what you're doing right now. Like there's something I can utilize. Like, what is it, right? And another question, because we're gonna expand more on that afterwards. What are your top social media platforms you're using?
Mhm. Yeah, so I am a little older than we probably think I am. So I am not great at TikToking or anything, though I know that that can be a really useful social media platform. I'm not there yet. So my main two are really Facebook and Instagram. And so, but I do most of my actual posting on Instagram, and then I just syndicate it to Facebook and then make sure that everything's running properly there. But it's lovely to be able to post in one place and then syndicate it to wherever you want it to go.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Luisa.
Hello.
So,
So,
yeah, go for it. Like I was about to, repeat the question basically, like what are you using mostly and what kind of led you to use whatever platforms you're using it right now?
so right now I am actually using TikTok. So I use TikTok, and then same thing with Cheyenne. I basically just, it downloads. So then if you guys look at my social media, it basically has the same info. So I have TikTok, I have my business page, Facebook and Instagram, and then my personal business and Instagram. I'm also utilizing LinkedIn, but not as much because I forget. But I try to use LinkedIn and also Google my page, Google my business. Sorry. And for mine with Cheyenne, hers is very artistic. Mine is very silly. So I'm not, and I do mostly videos, and I'm not. I mean, Meny. Like I'm not really scared to be silly on my videos. And I do both. I do personal and also business. So pretty much everyone knows. Like if I go to the gym or anything like that, they will know about it via my business and also my personal.
Yeah, I'm gonna expand more. I'm glad that you mentioned business page as well. That's awesome. That's definitely social media of some kind. Thank you. Good stuff. Esmeralda.
Oh, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, hi. Well, I'm not consistent. I'm not branded. I'm just myself. I'm authentic, and I'm just myself on social media. I'm just trying to get my audience to engage. Obviously, who is your audience? Who are you trying to target? When are you trying to target it? I am consistent with the videos, but as far as branding, and there's a lot that I need to work on still. I also use TikTok because it does the videos, and you can do a video in less than a minute because then you lose your audience. I know when videos are too long, like I'm just swiping through, like I don't care, like unless it's valuable information, show me something that's of value to me. So, I mean, everyone here that's on the call and the Zoom, everyone has a different audience. So it's like, who are you trying to target? Anything that I post, TikTok does it super easy. And again, it automatically syndicates it to Instagram and to Facebook all in one. So it's less work because it's time consuming. I don't spend too much time editing anything because it'll take me forever. Anything that I post, I use my personal and my business page for one. And anything that I post, I make sure that I have a reputable source for it. Like, because someone will always challenge you. Someone will always say, that's not true. I'm like, yeah, according to the California Association of Realtors, boom. So everything that I post, I better make sure that it's a reputable source. And we have so many free resources. You just read. KW, the web for our branding, it's awesome. California Association of Realtors, National Association of Realtors. We have so much valuable information. You just try to engage your audience so you can get leads, buyers. People don't come to me because I know everything. It's because I have resources. People come to me because they like me. Not everybody, but that's how I get some of my leads that, as a matter of fact, 2 that are in escrow right now. So wow. That's what I do.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, you see, and what I like about this group is, everybody, every person like brings different kind of angle to it, right? So let's expand on what you said last, Esmeralda. We can, keep going with you, and then we're gonna, whatever, ladies, you want to jump in and share. You said talk about content. So how do you pick and choose your content? Like from what resources? Number one, same question to all. And then number 2 is, how do you, once you have the resource, right, or whatever source, how do you decide how to present it? Is it like one-liner, the whole thing, an image, no image, etc.?
Okay, so for example, it depends on my day. Every day for me is different. I know a lot of people are good with, they wake up, they mastermind, they go to the gym. I am not one of those people. It's every day for me is different. I don't have an 8 to 5 job. So for example, let's say today I have to meet the, I'll give you an example. The day that I met an appraiser for my listing in Bixby Knolls, I'm there, you know, I have my comps. So that day I already know that I'm gonna do a video. So I prep before I go to my appointment on the video. So I'm there at the appraisal. What does the appraisal look for? So I make sure there's like just one pagers on the California Association of Realtors that talks about whether on that sale I'm represented the seller, right? So that buyer actually removed contingencies. So a good thing for me to talk about, let's talk about removing appraisal contingencies. So that's going to be my topic. That's how I decide based on what I have going on for my day. And then I'll just put like a 1-pager content from, again, a reputable source, which is California Association of Realtors. It's a 1-pager. It talks about, you know, what's legal, what's not on appraisals. So that's how I decide on what my content is going to be for the day. It depends what I'm doing. If it's a home inspection, also what to look for a home inspection, you know, you as a buyer have the right to request for repairs. There's also 1-pagers on car. It's super easy. It's already there. You can put your picture and then make sure you put your license number. So that day that I'm meeting the inspector, I'm going to talk about inspections. You have 10 days. It's not, people don't know about contingencies, your buyers and sellers. You have to walk them through the process as it's your very first time you ever bought a house or sold a house. That's how does that answer your question? That's how I decide what my content is going to be for the day.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, thank you. That was great. Who's next? Who want to share?
Same thing. Same thing with Esmeralda, right? Like, I do the same thing. I don't really plan it. I mean, I try to. I do like, okay, today is Monday motivation. I try to have some type of theme, but then if I, like for instance, today, I had an event last night, which is with one of the new coffee shop in Woodland Hills. So I couldn't do it last night. So then I told myself, okay, then tomorrow morning, very first thing when they open, I'm gonna go over there. And it was awesome because I really got to talk to the owners of the business, and I talked to them, and then we actually, you know, changed business cards, and they're like, oh, we'll definitely help you, yeah. You know, and I talked to them about putting it on social media, and they were so excited about it. And I told them that how I'm a real estate agent, and this is my farm, and you know, I belong in, you know, a couple of groups in West Hills and Woodland Hills and Calabasas, and I would love to post this. And they're like, yeah, go ahead. So sometimes when I go check out some new places for food, I usually do like Friday foodie, right? But today it's Thursday, so I'm like, whatever, I'll post it because I don't want somebody else to post it because there were a lot of people last night at the event. So I wanted to be the first one, and plus I promised the owners that, hey, I'm gonna post this, I'm gonna tag you, you know, and so I did. You know, just like with Esmeralda, if I'm door knocking, and you know, I don't really put too much thought into it, right? If I'm, you know, in one day, like the other day, I was going through KCM, keeping current matters, and then I saw something about an article where they, you know, it was a blog. So instead of posting the blog, I did it as a video. So I kind of just like read through it and made it my own. And I'm like, hey, call me, you know, if you have any real estate goals plans. Like I was just reading it as if, you know, anything. But I did, you know, just like Esmeralda said, I did say realtor.com so that they know. So that I'm not, you know, so they know that I'm not just talking out of my, you know what. So yeah, so definitely, you know, finding the source where it come from and just doing it. I guess that's the thing.
Good stuff. Thank you, Luisa. Cheyenne, what's your version?
Yeah, so mine is a little bit different, but what I do want to say is, to your point, Meny, I do also love that if you go to any of our 3 pages, right, on Instagram, let's just say, for instance, you're going to get 3 completely different experiences. And that's exactly how it should be. It's not a one size fits all, right? Because Luisa has her personality and Esmeralda has hers and I have mine, and we're all doing business we're doing the same business, but that's the beauty of it. We're doing it in different ways, and all of it can work, which is so liberating, I think. That being said, so I am really meticulous with my feed and a little bit more loose with my stories. So my feed, I do plan out as much as I can. I also have a huge passion for interior design. So I kind of lean that way with when I'm going on broker tour, like I'm making sure to take pictures that are aesthetically pleasing and then doing them with a certain preset in Lightroom so it stays true to my brand. And then in this specific app, then I can go ahead and kind of plan out. It gives me a reminder each day at 9 a.m., 10 a.m., whatever you choose it to be. It sends me a reminder it's time to post, right? And hopefully if I've done my job right, I've already curated the caption and everything. So I literally am just copy and pasting from that app into Instagram and syndicating it to Facebook. And my job is done for the day as far as that goes. Making sure to be hawking the comments and continue commenting back, right? So that the algorithm stays fancy or whatever you want to say. But and then yeah, with stories, especially because I'm looking for a very certain look in my feed, like I want the squares to look a very specific way. The stories are awesome for me because then I can just be a little bit more, here's my personality. If this photo doesn't fit into my feed, then great, I put it in the post or in the stories, you know. So and then also with my feed, I'm trying to find a way to not just be, because I'm super silly too, Luisa. I freaking love that. You know, I'm not like stuck in the mud type of person. So I don't want it to be all just informational. So I want it to be personality. I want it to be fun. I want it to be inspirational as well as informational. So I'm trying to almost like rotate what it is that I'm talking about on each feed post so that if this one doesn't apply to you, great, hopefully the next one will, and I still have the audience engagement. It's not just for this specific type of audience. So yeah, that's my goal.
And one question, if you can repeat on the chat, you preset what to your photos?
One more time, I'm so sorry, it broke up a little bit.
Sure. There was on the chat, there was a question for you about what you preset on your photos.
Yeah, great question. So I have, from my photography world, I have a couple of friends that are very, very successful, and they created a preset for Lightroom. So I use the Lightroom app, and you have to pay for their presets, but they're amazing if you like that light and airy style. And it's Noble, N-O-B-L-E. I'll type it into the chat after. Noble Mobile, which is clever.
That's cool. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I'll put that in there right now.
So, so do you guys have a plan? Meaning, I heard Esmeralda, right? Like the post for the day, what have you. So clearly, you guys looking to post something, promote something every day. But is that casual, or I'll try to ask it from a different angle, right? Like if I'm the agent, right, and I'm brand new to the industry, or I'm not, but maybe I'm new to how to PR myself on social media. So is everything casual? Meaning I'm not going to post something today, one or two things, but is it like, okay, let's see what's going to happen, or do you have some kind of a plan? Luisa, you were like shaking heavily. That's something to say.
No, it's just, you know, it's just whatever happens that day. So just like Esmeralda and I, you know, we don't plan it. Like sometimes I will, like, oh, this, you know, I like this. I will do this for instance, if it's like a holiday, right? Like Valentine's Day, which I didn't do anything actually. But if it's like a Valentine's Day or something like that, or holidays, yes, I would pre-plan it. But then if it's just a day-to-day thing and I just want to put something to post something, then whatever I'm doing that day, that's what I'm going to post. Of course, it has to be informational, and you know, if it's like silly, and I think like a lot of people will, you know, get, you know, attached to it and just kind of get some, you know, people talking, then I'll post it. But I don't really plan it all out, like what I'm gonna post. Like, you know, I'll try to do some type of theme, but it actually hasn't been working for me. So I'll just go throughout the whole week and say, okay, I'm gonna post this, and then we'll just call it Wisdom Wednesday, right? So something like that, to kind of like, you know, get some attention. But yeah.
Esmeralda, what about you? Like, do you, naturally, if you have a listing coming up, and I watch all of your, social media, right? So I try to like most of it. There's a lot of things to follow. But you have a new listing coming up, you just sold, give the keys or whatever, right? So you know what you're gonna do. But aside of that, what's the strategy really? Oh, hold on, you're muted.
So my strategy is during COVID, when all this started, I hired a virtual assistant to clean up my database and what we started planning for the year. This is what I do plan out. So all of my clients like house anniversaries, she uses MailChimp. I give her access to my email and she makes sure that it's the house anniversary sent out, but it's coming from me. Daylight savings time, I put that on social media also. She doesn't manage my social media, so I do that, but she'll send out the mass to all my my database. So everything for the year is already pre-planned. So for example, the daylight savings time that will come up, that's something that I will also post on social media. It depends what it is, but mostly holidays, clients' house anniversaries, clients' birthdays. I don't post them because people don't know my clients. I might just send them a private message on Instagram if they're following me. That's what I do pre-plan. For the week, I do already have my schedule, what I'm gonna do for the week, right? So like tomorrow I have a final walkthrough. So that I'll pre-plan the day before, what am I gonna talk about? It's what's done in the final walkthrough and then attached a small graph. So those are planned like a day before, but for the year, that's what I do. I have a virtual assistant, we pre-plan it, it's already all done, and that's it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cheyenne?
Yeah, one of my goals is actually to be a little bit more consistent about planning ahead, because I'm so focused on planning what the grid is going to look like. Then my struggle is always, okay, so what caption works for this photo that I've already chosen, looks good in this position, right? So then I'm trying to find something that actually makes sense and is useful or clever or whatever. So I need to be a little bit more consistent about that. But yeah, I'm trying. And obviously we divulged that I'm a newer agent, and so I don't have the just listeds or coming soons or anything yet, which they're coming. But so I do feel like I have to get a little bit inventive with what I'm posting, because what I'm finding too is, right, we all focus so much on like the engagement. So how many likes are we getting? How many comments are we getting? Yada, yada, yada. And while those are absolutely, they are important, right, to keep us high in the algorithm. But what I found is there's certain days where I'm like, man, that post didn't get as much engagement as I thought. And then I'll get a direct message from someone saying, whatever they're saying, real estate related. And I'm like, oh, it's working. Just because they're not engaging doesn't mean that they're not seeing it. And that's the whole point, right? We're just trying to stay top of mind for when that day comes. So that has been lovely to see, is that even if you're not getting a million bajillion comments from everybody, doesn't mean they're not seeing what you're doing.
True. Yeah.
Also, can I add something to what Cheyenne just said? You mentioned that you don't have any listings or just sold, but you're able to use other agents. Like if I have a listing coming soon, or when I don't have anything like that I have in escrow or coming soon, like I'll ask my other colleague agents, like there's one in Long Beach right now, it's not on the market. She lets me advertise it, obviously with her permission. People don't know that it's actually, people don't know that, excuse me, let me go to the other one. People actually don't know that it's your listing or not, and I get, sorry about that. We had a little accident in the kitchen.
You're good. We got you.
People don't know that they're their videos. Like people think I sell like, oh my God, like I'm selling $1 million agent, and I'm not, but it makes it look like I'm so busy. And I mean, I'm still doing great, but I could do a lot more. So yeah, just ask your colleagues, I mean, whomever, me, whatever, and just post it like it's your listing.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. And it's funny that you say that, because I can't tell you how many times like I'm going to these gorgeous brokers opens, right? And I'm choosing, of course, because I love aesthetics, right? So I'm going to these opens where I'm like, oh, they've been renovated, they're so gorgeous, and taking a bajillion pictures. putting them, so I've been doing like a weekly property peek when I'm able to go on tour. So I'm doing that in my stories, and everyone that I talk to is like, oh my God, all of your listings are stunning. And I have to be like, oh, they're not actually mine, but thank you. So you're right.
Yeah, it's also good to like to use like, you know, I mean, I never say no if an agent wants to post my listing on to their social media, because it's free marketing for me. Like, heck yeah, go ahead. You know, if you can find me a buyer, why not? Because you know, it'll be good for me that, oh, I was able to sell it as soon as possible. And then if you can get a buyer for it, it's a win-win for both of us.
Yeah, I love the fact that you guys brought this up, because yeah, if you don't have the you know, the inventory, right, or the product, ask to borrow it from someone else. At the end of the day, if you've been given permission, and you probably will, then, you know, both of you working, it's actually a great service for the seller, because there's no difference between you doing that on social media and getting like, you know, 50 likes and whatever messages. And it's like Cheyenne mentioned earlier, and you know, there's the algorithm, right, for any platform. We'll talk about that in a few minutes as well. It's going to keep circulating, like showing up on the person's feed, etc. There's no difference between that and someone who's looking online for whatever house in whatever area, and they're going to pull up, you know, in realtor.com or Trulia, etc., right? There's no difference. So it's a great service for the seller because it's more exposure for the property. So don't be shy away from asking permission to promote someone's listing, etc., right? So thank you for sharing that. There's a question on the chat, good one, and I see some of you doing it, right? The question is, do you include your clients in your videos and pictures? What kind of things work well for that?
I actually only include my clients with their permission, and it depends what it is, and with pictures also. I had a client who, when I was going to give him the keys, pre-planned, he proposed to his girlfriend. So he allowed me to post that video when I gave him the keys. So just with their permission, yes. I mean, that one got so many likes and so many, like, oh my God, how amazing, congratulations to them, how exciting, etc. But I was so freaking nervous, like, because I had the ring before I gave him the keys, like, so yeah, that was a fun one. So with their permission, yes, I do, and it depends what it is.
Other comments, Luisa?
No, same thing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I do see a lot, you know, you see, I honestly, it's funny because I noticed that during the last 2 years, more than ever before, you see all those, like, the buyers holding the keys, right? I mean, it's double celebration, maybe because there's no inventory. So it's like, I'm going to celebrate that. But for sure, you know, on a side note, don't shy away from asking permission as well to do that, right? There's no difference, by the way, think about this. There's no difference between doing that, which is a viral like confirmation or what have you, than asking someone's, you know, testimonial, which is just letters in some, you know, online, whatever, right? Same thing. So, but again, you know, don't sneak behind your client and take a picture, a selfie or whatever, ask permission for sure. Right? A little bit of a nerd talk, right? If you guys want to add whatever you know about the algorithms, like really, how does it work, right? So we know, you know, Facebook, right? We have the LCM, like, comment, and message that kind of increase the exposure and keep that on the feed. Instagram, we have the Reels, REEL, the Reels. We're trying to compete with TikTok, right? So we'd love to hear your kind of thoughts, insight, whatever works for you. You put this post, it was insanely amazing. Other posts, not as much. Open mic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too much as far as Nerd Talk goes, honestly. And I feel like the minute you get the hang of one algorithm, they change it on you anyway. But yeah, so obviously we talked a little bit about engagement right now in the current algorithm, that, and I think will continue to be important, right? So they're trying to see if you have bought a ton of followers, but no one's actually commenting because it's robots, right? It's not actual authentic or organic followers. So yeah, so that is the goal, to get as many organic followers as possible, get some engagement. So a lot of the time people are trying to pose questions in there maybe, or engage through polls or giveaways or things like that are really effective in having engagement, which the more engagement you have, then the more the algorithm says, okay, this is a popular feed that people are going to want to continue seeing. So then it does populate you into people's feeds more often. So yeah, that's what I found with that. And then obviously the whole hashtagging game, which you know, I just try and stay as consistent as possible. It's easier because you could drive yourself crazy on trying to pick out 30 new hashtags every day. So I have my hashtags, I pick them, I save them in notes, and then apply them to every feed post that I do. And if something doesn't apply, obviously, then I can go ahead and take that one out and add something that does apply into that particular post. So that's about as nerdy as I'm going to get on that one. I'm not sure anything else about it.
Hey, that's good enough. And a side note on the hashtags, I'm not sure if you do, but some people do follow hashtags, right? Maybe they follow hashtag real estate or hashtag luxury or hashtag some city, who knows? So definitely be mindful of that. And you can go and Google search most searched hashtags Instagram 2022, right? To see exactly, because it does change all the time for sure. So if you're still using hashtags from 2017, maybe you want to change it up a little bit, like in general statement, right?
Oh, and I do one more addition is that I do find I get more engagement on anything that's a personal post. I think that just comes with the nature of anything, right? Like we find people's personal lives way more interesting than their business life typically. So yeah, so I like to mix those in, because if I'm getting the engagement on the personal post, it's likely that then they will still see whatever my informative post is, even if it's not necessarily something that they're immediately like intrigued by. It's still gonna show up in their feed if I've gotten the engagement on the personal one. So that's why I try to kind of rotate every 4 posts being something inspirational, something informational, something personal, and then fill the blank.
Yeah.
So what's funny is that Cheyenne gets a lot of stuff for personal. I actually get a lot of engagement through my real estate stuff. So especially on my business, I was actually looking at it, and one of the most likes and most engagement I get is if I'm doing like a community gift bag. That I had a lot of views, and then my real estate stuff are actually getting shared more than my personal. So, which is like, yeah, I was really surprised.
How in what frequency or how often do you mix it up between the two?
Same thing with Cheyenne. Like I will do like every other day, like one personal, one business, or if I'm doing two things. Sometimes I'll try to post twice a day, one personal and one business. Just depends on how much important it is, I think, for the people that's watching, right? So I didn't want to like wait it out and just and just post it, especially if it's like something about with my business. And then also if it's like a closing time, but then I already have like in mind like, oh, I want to post like something personal, but then let's say I'm giving it's key day, and my clients is like follows me on Instagram or on my social media, so I have to tag them. So I need to post that on the same day that it was key day.
Yeah, that's awesome. There's another good question over here in the chat. Do you recommend a personal and a separate Instagram account for personal and real estate?
For me, yes, because not all of my, not because I don't block anyone on my personal or my business. Whatever I post on my business, you will see it on my personal and vice versa. The only reason is that not all of my people on my personal page are on my business page yet. But I send them like every single day, like, hey, you need to like my page, right? But of course, I can't force them. So yeah, I do have both, and it's just for me, I don't want a lot of my people to be like, oh man, you keep like posting real estate, right? So I want to kind of like mix it. I don't post real estate directly on my personal. What I do is that I share it from my business page so that they will see like, oh wow, you have a business page, and then they will go in there and then they will like my page. So I do have for my Instagram people, like I have 50-50. 50% of my actual my sphere of influence are actually on my Instagram business page. Don't ask me why, but they're not on my Facebook page. So my sphere of influence is on my Facebook page, personal page, on my Facebook business page.
Yeah. So to add to that, is that okay, Meny?
Yeah, go.
To add to that a little bit, because Meny answered it really, really well in the chat as well, that it is absolutely a personal preference. But I also think, to Luisa's point, so right now I'm just running mine through personal because I'm waiting for the DRE to approve my business DBA, right? So I've created the page, but technically, legally, I can't really be using it actively yet. So I am waiting on that, but my intention is to go ahead and go do that once I have approval. And I'm going to do the exact same thing, Luisa, where anything I post on that business page, then I send it to my personal so that everyone that's following my personal account will see what I want them to see, but then it can link them back if they click it, right? But the other thing that I've learned is that I think it is imperative to have a business page on Facebook at least, but also Instagram would be good, because in my understanding, you can't run through command, right? Our, Keller Williams CRM, you can't run Facebook ads unless it's going to a Facebook business page. So I do think that that's something huge to keep in mind, because that is such a big piece of leverage to go ahead and gain more leads. So.
And thank you. That's just good share. And Esmeralda says on the chat, she keeps one account, right? And she showed the account. Thank you. By the way, feel free to add your links to your whatever you want. Get more followers. Sorry, I missed it. I lost it for a second. Esmeralda, yeah.
Yeah, I only use one. I mean, with all due respect, I mean, like Cheyenne and is it Luisa? Yes. Everyone's different. For me, that's too complicated. Like, I want to make my life easier. I use one account. It says Esmeralda Gomez Realtor. So everyone knows that it's there. What I do for a living is real estate, for my personal, for my business. I'm just very cautious and careful on what I post on. I don't get too personal on my personal page because, you just don't want to, So I never talk about politics. I mean, a lot of people can do whatever they want. I just don't, because I don't. I do feel it will affect my business if I decided to start talking politics. Politics, religion, I don't post any of that, right? For me, I post I have top categories that I post that I know what engages my audience. Again, everyone's audience is different. I'm a runner, I run marathons. I'm a CrossFit. So with CrossFit, I have an agreement where anyone that buys or sells homes from me, I pay their membership. And again, not everyone's going to buy or sell from me, but that's an incentive that I have for a gym that I've been part of that community in Huntington Beach for 6 years. It's worked out very well for me. The two that I have in escrow or that are closing are from my gym. Sometimes I don't want to go to the gym, but I know it's part of my business. I have to go out and promote it. I have to go out there, and it's good. It's good for my body, my health, my mindset, and my business. And I have to thank that gym in Huntington Beach, DRS Athletics, for that. I mean, I get so many people that, oh my gosh, you're so dedicated. But they don't know that I'm dead. Like, I really don't want to go to the gym. But if that post is going to motivate someone to get up, go for a walk, or help them better in their lifestyle, help them have a better mindset, whatever it is, I hope I can touch those people. And I do. When I get that message like, oh my God, you inspire me, I want to run a half marathon. Can I be part of your running group? Yeah, absolutely. So for me, my top are my gym, it's exercise, running, travel, my business, real estate, and my personal. I get more people that engage when I post on my dog. I don't know why, but I do, or when I do cooking meals, recipes. And it starts a conversation. I'm like, oh, how's the real estate? Everyone will always ask you, how's the real estate? How's interest rates? Somehow they'll engage. Maybe not at that time, but like, hey, when I'm ready to buy or when I'm ready to sell, I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And that's what I do. I only keep one account. It's too complicated. I try to make my life easier, going back and forth, switching. You can have it as a business and then have it public. And then that way you're able to post more. That's how you're going to get more people engaged. That works for me. It's not for everyone, but that's what's helped my business.
No, and I love you. Hold on, can you hear me fine?
Yes.
Yeah, I love the fact that you brought that angle. So I want to piggyback on a couple of things that you mentioned, right? Number one, yes, do what's best for you. At the same time, think about the exposure, right? Think about, and just to all of you, whoever's watching, right? Go afterwards, Google both on your cell phone and then on your laptop separately. It might vary where you are also geographically, right? But go and Google search your name. Just first and last name. Don't do realtor, real estate, Keller Williams. So first and last name, see what comes up. Okay. So on a side note, the more channels you have, the more you're increasing your SEO, search engine optimization. It can be organic one. You don't have to pay for it, right? If you do, it's going to increase even more. But so do that test to see like what the exposure is, right? Number two, Esmeralda touched on a gold mine right there that most of you are not aware of because you don't know what you don't know, or you just maybe don't care as much. If you position yourself, right, as a key player in the community, right, it makes you an asset. It makes you a resource. Or also gonna make you a more resourceful person. Someone's gonna ask you, hey, what's the best so-and-so? Do you know any a professional in this area, or whatever? Yes, you do. You know everybody. On the other hand, I think also I've seen it in various ways. The last 2 years, so many businesses shut down, right? So many other businesses just were born. Are you promoting any of them, right? Are you the promoter, right? The yellow pages of your community? So go back to social media. Think about this. You go into a place and you take a picture of this, and you share an article about that, and you share the link, etc. Give your views, all of the above. So glad that you mentioned that, Esmeralda, because that's huge. And of course, you can leverage that as well through discounts and promotions and whatever from local businesses to some extent.
Right.
Luisa, you mentioned earlier, which I'm a great believer, and also tell you why in a second. It's just a very, very basic sense, right? You spoke about Google My Business.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about that for a second?
No, I'm just kidding. So I've learned about Google My Business from my coach, from Tom Ferry, and then also from my coach. So we had a challenge on that we had to set up the Google My Business and then post on Google My Business, and then anywhere that I go, I keep forgetting, I have to put in my location on Google My Business so that other people that's on Google will find me as well, like just because I'm posting on Google My Business. So I try to do my videos as well on Google My Business. On Google My Business, however, you cannot do more than, I believe, 30 seconds of video. So I would usually cut my video to about 30 seconds, and then I would just write, hey, to know more information, come and contact me or email me.
So first of all, shout out to Luisa for doing this. okay? Because it's implementing another piece out there with the puzzle, right? So here's what I think and what I know about Google as well. Google, my business is when you go in Google search, or what's the backwards? What is the most used engine in the world to search anything? Google. So what you're doing right now, you say, I'm going to use your platform, Google, to promote my business. They're going to be a bit selfish about it and going to help to boost you up just a little bit more organically. You want to get even more reviews, and that's something really cool that they started doing recently. Go and give 5 stars on Google Map, right? Other businesses, and the stars and the reviews, not without even reviews, just the stars or whatever. You start to earn points. Put pictures. Once a month or so, you're gonna get a report how much exposure your picture got, and they're gonna thank you for your contribution to the Google community. And I can continue on and on and on. So basically, what you're doing organically is supporting the biggest engine in the world, and it's got to be some kind of a handshake. So what you don't want to do is, when you create a business, don't try to claim someone else's business. Okay, so if you're working in Keller Williams Coastal Properties, don't try and claim that business. It's not you, it's us. Okay, create your own presence. If you're working from a different address, great. You have to have a physical address because they're going to send you some kind of a postcard to verify your existence. Okay, but again, don't claim someone else's business, create your own, but that's definitely legit. 5 stars right over there. Just looking at the chat really quickly if you missed any questions, just comments. Okay, cool stuff. Any questions, by the way, whoever is on the chat or on the Zoom? Any questions for our superstar social media ladies? Yeah, take it. You are a superstar. I love the look at that table in South Bay, Simon, and I'm gonna say round table. It's a square table over there. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being here. Okay, so quick round before we're gonna sum it up. Anything else that you want to share? It can even be something maybe that you want to do more of, or mix of that, or if you can recommend for someone who's just about to start, building that kind of platforms. If you had to go, back and do everything all over again, what would you do and how you would do it?
Yeah, just for me in general, obviously I'm extremely comfortable in the realm of photos, but less so in the realm of videos for sure. So, and I also know that videos, especially this day and age, are honestly way more effective. So that is my next task, is to learn more about that whole platform and how to do that and do it in a way that's authentic to me, because I will say I'm the first one who feels very, very weird about having the cell phone out and being like, hey guys, so like, it just, for me personally, feels so vain, and I get very uncomfortable doing that. And power to the people who do, because I watch them, for sure, I watch them. But when I go to do it, I'm like, it doesn't feel right for me. So I have to find, that's what I would like to get better at.
And so I'm laughing because Luisa is the exact opposite from you. Right?
Yeah, right.
You just did a perfect Luisa.
And I love that. So it's a zero judgment thing. It's just, I go to try and do it, and then I'm like, it's not me. I got to find a way to do it that is authentic to me. And that it hasn't been it so far. So, but I also love that Luisa does that, because again, the proof is in the pudding. It's not a one size fits all, right? We all have to do what works for us. And I just think that that's cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. So Luisa, do you want to give us one kind of for the record?
What's so funny is that when I did my video this morning, the owners, and there was like a lot of people there, but you know what? You just do it, and I just don't, like, at this point, I'm at the point, like, I don't really care what you think of me, and I'm doing this for my business. So, yeah, I mean, like, probably for me, I was the same way as, everyone else, right? That we don't like ourselves when we're doing the videos. Then just keep doing it until you get comfortable. I mean, that's what I did it. And then until I'm at the point, I'm like, oh, who cares? I'm just going to post it. Right. So with me, like, for instance, with my mentees, they hated the videos, but what we did was we did a 30-day challenge. They can post whatever they want. It doesn't have to be a real estate as long as it's a video. 3 out of the 7 days, it has to be them. I have to see their face, and they have to be talking on a video. And you know, and I got a good feedback from them. They actually really liked it, and they said that they got more comfortable. Because, right, like, you're not growing if you're comfortable. So in order to grow, you have to be uncomfortable. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't do videos that well yet. I mean, I still get comfortable, but I just do it. And I saw a question, actually, sorry, Meny, from Monica, Christina, in regards to Yelp account. So I used to do Yelp account, but the only thing with Yelp is that when you ask your clients for a review, they have to do an account, right? They have to sign up. And so sometimes, like, your clients wouldn't want to do it anymore. Google My Business, however, is so easy. As long as they have a Gmail account, they can go ahead and go in there. So yes, for me, I stopped my Yelp account, and I just used my Google My Business to get all my reviews. And what I did was, once I had my Google My Business, I just copied and paste everyone's reviews and put it on there. Or I just asked my clients again, like, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you go into your Yelp and just copy and paste to my Google My Business? I'm gonna send you the link right now. And they did it.
Yeah, thank you. I was gonna go over the questions afterwards. So thank you for picking this up. It's awesome. Esmeralda?
Number one, I want to say to Cheyenne, is that how I'm pronouncing your name? Number one, you're very pretty, so you shouldn't be embarrassed to do videos. What helped me, to answer Manny's question also, like, for anyone that's starting that doesn't have like that much business or whatnot, what helped me, I went to REM or REI. It's a real estate conference. I mean, they haven't had it because of COVID, but anyhow, one of the classes was, they asked us to do a video. This was a few years ago. I was exactly like you. I was embarrassed. Like, what are people going to say? How do I look like? What if I say something wrong? I didn't want to do it. I was so scared to do it. And my friend's like, you got to do it. It's part of the class. I'm like, ew, okay. And I still have that video. And now it's like, I'm just myself, because when I try to be like, hi, this is Esmeralda Gomez with Keller, it's like so fake. Like, I'm just myself and I just do it. But, you know, and sometimes I do practice like what I'm going to say if it's pertaining to real estate, but you just got to do it and be yourself, because then it's not authentic. You're going to sound so fake. I don't even edit my videos because it takes too much time, and they're more real. People engage more with the audience on that. One of the persons here asked in regards to leveraging social media to target sellers and listings. You have to talk about something pertaining to real estate and how is that going to be value to you? So if you're a buyer, like there's so many people out there that already have other agents. I don't steal other people, but I have converted them from other agents to me. For example, what's her name? Julie Trong. To answer her question on leveraging for how to convert them. Just do videos, anything that's going to be valuable pertaining to real estate. Give you an example. One of the ones that I converted, I talked about appraisal. Again, it's like, it was so common, removing appraisal, why I recommend you do it, why I don't recommend you do it, what to know about it. And she automatically came on my DMs like, oh my God, my agent told us to do it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That ended up having a conversation with her and her husband. They're now my buyers looking to buy. So it's anything that's going to add value. Some people already have other agents. Maybe they're in escrow. I always tell them legally, I'm not representing you, so I can't advise you because you already have another agent. But if they're not, then I'll ask them, are you working with someone or not? Some of them are past clients where, again, one of the ones that I'm selling, it's like, oh, when I'm ready to sell my house, I'll make sure I'll call you. You're so knowledgeable. Again, I don't know everything. It's the resources and the tools that KW offers, that CAR offers, that NAR offers. that makes me sound like I know everything and that I'm knowledgeable. It's my HOOTU, my inspectors, my appraisal, the real estate attorneys. We have a team. So it's like, oh, I have a team that I work with. It's true. We pay for the association to be part of the association. We have real estate attorneys on our side. So, and that's how I got my listings that I have, 2 of them, because, when I'm ready to sell and past clients as well. So you have to talk about some content that's gonna get people engaging in your conversations. You can call me Julie. I mean, I'd be happy to help you, Julie Trong.
That's awesome, man. Julie with our Calabasas office. And yeah, I mean, you can also go, if you want to know trends, right? If you have, you can go to the MLS, find that. You can go easily on the hub, right? Each office, kwsouthbayhub.com, and go to market trends, scroll down, right? You have live trends, live feed, what happened until yesterday, right? See, to talk the bottom line, like what's going on, inventory, etc., price points, regardless. I mean, you definitely need to be knowledgeable in lore, language of real estate, right? It's part of the gig. On a side note, by the way, when I did previous sessions, one recommendation that someone did, and I actually used it just kind of to break through, right, to see how it is. If you camera shy, or it's something about the camera, right? It's just kind of, it's a figure of speech. But if you kind of feel weird to talk to your phone like that or what have you, when you kind of broadcast, start to do more FaceTiming when you talk to people, instead of have just a phone call or put a speakerphone. But if you FaceTime with someone, you kind of start to be natural with looking at yourself, right? Or maybe WhatsApp, Zoom, whatever works for you. So you can kind of practice that. And they're like, oh, it's just me talking to myself again or whatever, right? So anything else before I'm going to let you go, ladies?
TikTok too is also good if you don't like to be on the video. So you can just have your face, and if you don't like your voice, you can actually put a different voice on top of your voice. So you can, you can put your volume down and then put music on. And then if you just want caption and no voice at all, you can do that. So that's one amazing thing about TikTok.
Yes, and I saw a lot of TikTokers taking those videos and put them on either Reels or maybe it was just either a Reel or just on Instagram too, right? So you can kind of convert, or if you Instagram, it goes from your stories, it goes to your Facebook, so you don't have to do things multiple times. So
I just wanted to say really quickly, thank you for all of you guys too, because regardless of being a panelist, again, we're all doing it so differently. It's just neat that we're, we have things to learn from one another as well. So, and always, right? That's always the truth. So anyway, thank you for hosting it, Meny, and then thank you ladies for your input as well.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you. Esmeralda, Luisa, Cheyenne, thank you ladies for sharing your insight and kind of, your secrets with us.
No secret. Everything is shareable.
Exactly. Look you up on social media. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys, everybody. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.